Is it fair to call the Patriots cheaters?
Yes, and liars too, I think. Or at least they cheated and lied, it seems to me.
The New England Patriots have played many roles over the last 2 decades, from underdogs to heroes and ultimately the villain. But you know what you can't call them? Losers, as their dynasty has etched itself in the history books as one of the greatest ever in all of sports. With Super Bowl success came scandals, which turned the entire world against them. But they just kept on winning. This is the story of the Patriots Dynasty, the greatest in NFL history. A new era in Foxborough. After 2 frustrating seasons under Pete Carroll, Robert Kraft and the New England Patriots decided it was time for a change, and they made a controversial hire at the time when they selected Bill Belichick to be their new head coach. Belichick had plenty of experience. That wasn't the issue. He was coming off a 5-year stretch with the Cleveland Browns, who fell short of expectations after just 1 playoff appearance and no division titles. The decision to hire Belichick was made bolder by handing him the keys to the whole operation, making him the de facto general manager as well, a decision we now know that would prove to be a good one. Whilst the majority of his time in New England will be remembered for relentless success, there was not much to cheer for in year 1. A Patriots squad that was already low on talent started their life with their new head coach on the wrong foot. After a disappointing first practice where he questioned the team's fitness, Belichick let his feelings be known by telling the press that he wouldn't be able to win with 40 good guys while the other teams had 53. The very next day, he got to work on instilling a new attitude towards practice, not allowing anyone to participate if they could not complete some basic fitness tests. The first draft of the famous Patriots way was starting to emerge. Whilst the team could only manage a 5-11 record, Belichick had set the tone for what life as a Patriot was going to be like. And while the results on the field were disappointing, the new-look Patriots did manage to do something right in the year 2000. Despite having an established quarterback in Drew Bledsoe, the quarterback's coach Dick Ribin went out to look for the available prospects in the 2000 NFL Draft. The name at the top of the report was Tom Brady, who the team selected in the 6th round. Brady was pinned as an efficient passer, with a genius-like IQ for the game, but greatly lacking the physical attributes that would allow him to succeed in the NFL. His skill set was first put to the test in Week 2 of the 2001 season, after Drew Bledsoe took a hit that would rule him out of the game. With just 3 professional pass attempts under his belt, the young quarterback took to the field to face the division rival New York Jets, and he wasn't able to secure the comeback win as he just barely held his own. The New England Patriots were forced to stick with their 6th-round quarterback after it emerged that Drew Bledsoe's injury would sideline him for a few weeks, and any thoughts that the season was over before it even started were quickly banished, as Brady outdueled last season's passing yards leader Peyton Manning in his first career start. He really began to hit his stride in Week 4 when he threw his first touchdown in an impressive overtime victory against San Diego. Brady's 364 yards and 2 scores and no interceptions were followed up by another 202 yards and 3 touchdowns 1 week later. In this game, Brady beat Peyton Manning for the 2nd time in 4 weeks and took New England above 500 for the first time in 2 years. There was plenty of good vibes with Tom Brady at the helm, so much so that Belichick decided to leave him in as the starter even after Bledsoe returned to health. The Patriots were not known for having a star-studded roster, which makes the rest of the season even more unbelievable. The beginning of winning. New England had won their last 6 games in 2001 to secure their first AFC East title since 1997. In just his 2nd season in charge, Belichick had reversed the team's fortune and gone from a 5-11 record and last in the division to 11-5 and a division title. With an inexperienced 6th-round sophomore playing at quarterback, it felt like a true fairy tale story. And it got its happy ending when the Patriots powered through the playoffs and defeated the St. Louis Rams in Super Bowl 36. After starting the season as a backup, Brady finished it by leading a last-minute drive to set up a game-winning field goal in the Super Bowl. He had already been selected as a Pro Bowl quarterback, and his performance in the big game earned him the Super Bowl MVP. It was the first Super Bowl in New England Patriots franchise history, and little did we know, the start of a very famous dynasty. Quarterbacks almost never win Super Bowl rings in their first seasons as starters because adjusting to the pro game just isn't that easy. Those rules didn't apply for Tom Brady though, and despite his team not managing to go back to the playoffs in year 2, Brady led the league in passing touchdowns. He did so with one of the weaker wide receiving corps in the league, making the feat even more impressive. It showed that he had the immeasurable ability to elevate his offensive weapons, so much so that it allowed Bill Belichick to solely focus on bolstering his defense in 2003, and the team was set to go on another run. Belichick's main target was Rodney Harrison, who was a hard-hitting safety who many believed was on the decline in his career. The head coach took a chance on the former first-team All-Pro, and it was the first of many impressive signings over his career, as he quickly became a key player for the Patriots. He was a tackling machine in 2003, posting 92 solo tackles, 3 sacks, and 3 interceptions. For his efforts, he earned a first-team All-Pro nomination before leading the defense on a deep playoff run. Now with Harrison bolstering the defense and Brady piloting the offense, the New England Patriots posted a 14-2 record to lock up the #1 seed in the AFC. Brady finished the regular season in 3rd place in MVP voting, behind Peyton Manning and Steve McNair, both of whom failed to the Patriots in the playoffs. A pick 6 from Harrison helped defeat the Indianapolis Colts in the AFC Championship game to set up a Super Bowl clash with the Carolina Panthers. Brady's 354 yards and 3 touchdowns helped the Patriots outlast a strong Panthers team. It was another fourth-quarter drive by Tom Brady to set up a game-winning field goal that got the job done, earning him his 2nd Super Bowl MVP in 3 years. Belichick himself was recognized as NFL Coach of the Year for the first time in his career. His decision to sign Rodney Harrison had already paid off big for the franchise, and it wouldn't be the first time that the impressive head coach would sign a player thought to be past their prime and reignite their careers in New England. By now, signs of a concerning dynasty for the rest of the NFL were emerging, and there didn't seem to be any way to slow it down. Between Week 5 of their Super Bowl win in 2003 season and Week 7 of 2004, the Patriots put together a new all-time record of 21 consecutive wins. They lost only 4 games between the 2 seasons, and sure enough, a 3rd Super Bowl ring was added to the tally. Corey Dillon was the new shiny addition in the beginning of 2004, and just like Rodney Harrison before him, he made an immediate impact. His 1,635 rushing yards and 12 touchdowns, paired with Brady's precision passing, gave opposing defenses too much to handle. They stormed to another 14-2 record on their way to another Super Bowl, this time against the Donovan McNabb-led Philadelphia Eagles. The Patriots were now in rare territory. They became the 6th team to win back-to-back Super Bowls and joined the Dallas Cowboys as the only teams to ever win 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. Given that the Cowboys had 2 different head coaches to thank for their wins, Belichick was now the only coach to achieve this feat. He and Brady had just completed one of the most miraculous franchise turnarounds in the history of the sport, and the Patriots Dynasty had officially arrived. All eyes on New England. Winning 3 Super Bowls in your first 4 years is setting a precedent that is simply impossible to maintain. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick had established a culture of winners, and even without any more Super Bowl wins over the next 9 seasons, there was still plenty to cheer about. The Patriots followed up their back-to-back Super Bowl winning seasons by putting out an underwhelming 10-6 season. Of course, it was still good enough to win the AFC West for the 3rd year in a row. Brady led the league in passing, and they registered yet another playoff win against the Jacksonville Jaguars. It wasn't until the divisional round of the 2005 season that Brady lost his first playoff game, as they fell 27-13 to a superior Denver Broncos roster. He didn't get his second playoff defeat until the 2006 season in the AFC Championship game. A 21-3 deficit to Indianapolis proved too difficult to overcome when the team fell just short 38-34. This was another classic tussle between Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, and the first time that Manning had managed to land a significant blow. It was hardly a time of hardship for Patriots fans, but Belichick felt the need to make a splash to try and get them back to the top spot. Despite having a Hall of Fame-worthy career already, Brady had not yet played with a true alpha receiver, and it was time for that to change. Insert Randy Moss, who had enjoyed a remarkable start to his career as a first-round pick for the Minnesota Vikings. Moss picked up 5 Pro Bowls and 2 first-team All-Pro nominations in the Offensive Rookie of the Year award. He started his career with 6 1,000-yard seasons, but 2 teams in just 1,000-yard year in the last 3 made him the perfect candidate for Bill Belichick's next revival project. He was traded to the Patriots for a 4th-round pick, a price that would end up being a bargain. As the Patriots' newest weapon, Moss set a new NFL NFL record with 23 touchdowns in a single season, a record that still stands today. He was the perfect companion for Brady, who himself threw for 50 touchdowns, which was also an NFL record at the time. He also posted a career-high 4,806 passing yards, helping the Patriots become the first team to achieve a perfect 16-0 undefeated record in the regular season. But the Patriots' perfect season had been marred by the allegations of Spygate, which really brought a dark cloud down over the franchise and led to the relentless belief that they weren't as good as we all believed they were and were simply just cheating. It all started in Week 1 when a member of the Patriots sideline was ejected due to accusations that he was videotaping the Jets' defensive signals. The scandal rippled through the franchise, and Bill Belichick was fined $500,000. The maximum fine possible is still the largest ever handed down to an NFL coach in league history. The Patriots were fined $250,000 and docked their first-round pick in the 2008 NFL Draft. You see, the rules stated that filming opposing coaches and their signals was not illegal, but there were areas designated for those responsible for doing so. The camera crew filming from the sideline was not one of those areas, so Commissioner Roger Goodell deemed it outside of league rules and punished the Patriots forcefully. Of course, Belichick denied any wrongdoing, stating that as far as he understood, as long as the tape wasn't used or studied during the same game it was filmed, he was operating within league rules. Roger Goodell acknowledged his point, but his opinion did not change. Hall of Fame head coach Jimmy Johnson quickly jumped to Belichick's defense, stating that there were multiple teams doing this and that it was the way in which they had been taught to do it for so long. He noted that didn't make Belichick right, but he was far from the only one in the wrong. That's how the NFL deemed it. After an investigation, Belichick had reportedly been taping signals in this way since 2000. Roger Goodell ordered for the tapes to be handed over and then promptly destroyed all tapes and notes relating to the event in a strange turn of events. Later, U.S. Senator Arlen Specter questioned the NFL's decision to destroy the tapes, stating that he was very concerned about the underlying facts of the taping and the reasons for the judgment of the limited penalties, and most of all, on the inexplicable destruction of the tapes. It was all a bit strange and quite honestly a circus, especially with Goodell's immediate action being totally destroying all the evidence of the event. He made it clear he had nothing to hide and met with the senator, but the whole thing left a nasty stain on the league. 2 more wins took the Patriots to the Super Bowl, with the 4th championship title and the perfect undefeated season on the line. But before the Super Bowl got underway, Spygate raised its ugly head once again. Just 2 days before the Super Bowl kickoff, the Boston Herald had published a report stating an unnamed source had outed the Patriots for taping the St. Louis Rams walkthrough prior to Super Bowl 36. The Patriots denied the allegations on the same day, and after investigating, the NFL found no evidence proving this report true. The Boston Herald would later apologize and retract the article, but the Patriots' legacy was tarnished even further. And despite all of their adversity, the stars appeared to be aligned for the Patriots. They've been under scrutiny all season, were 18-0 and playing for another Super Bowl title. Few expected a rude intervention from Eli Manning and the New York Giants, who put an end to one of the most incredible seasons in NFL history. In a low-scoring affair, the Patriots fell to a 3-point deficit in a game that featured one of the most iconic plays in Super Bowl history. Eli Manning's incredible ability to avoid a sack led to David Tyree's helmet catch that wowed fans and proved to be the decisive moment in the New York Giants' upset victory. The Super Bowl loss denied the Patriots the ultimate perfect season, and it kick-started a tricky few years for New England. An off-season full of what-ifs was followed up by a devastating start to the 2008 season. The season opener got off to the worst possible start when the Patriots quarterback tore his ACL and MCL. It forced the team into a season with a backup quarterback in Matt Castle, who thanks to an excellent coaching effort from Bill Belichick managed to lead the team to an 11-5 record. Even the lowest of lows for New England could produce seasons that other franchises could only dream of. Going bowling again. Tom Brady recovered in time to start the 2009 season, during which he added the Comeback Player of the Year award to his resume. The team averaged over 12 wins every year between 2009 and 2013, and their 2010 season saw their quarterback become the first ever unanimous MVP. Despite all of this, the 5-year stretch featured only playoff failures and another Super Bowl loss to the Giants. And in 2014, we saw a slightly less effective Tom Brady, which combined with the consecutive years of playoff failures led many to question whether the dynasty was finally over. His 25 touchdowns were the fewest that he had thrown in a healthy season since 2006, and after the playoffs lost 41-14 to the Kansas City Chiefs and quarterback Alex Smith in Week 4, the questions and doubts only picked up more steam. However, this wasn't the first time any of Tom Brady's doubters were quickly proved wrong. Following their embarrassing loss to the Chiefs, the Patriots went 10-2 the rest of the way. They led the league in scoring and stormed their way to the Super Bowl, hammering the Colts 45-7 in the AFC Championship game along the way. Tom Brady overcame 2 interceptions to lead the team on a comeback, but the true hero of the game was undrafted rookie cornerback Malcolm Butler. After Seattle opted to throw the ball from the 1-yard line with under 30 seconds left in the game, Malcolm Butler jumped the route and intercepted the pass, all but ending the game and giving the Patriots their first Super Bowl win since 2004. The 2014 season started with question marks about the ability of New England to carry on dominating the game, and it ended with them winning their 4th Super Bowl title. Far from the end of a dynasty, it was the beginning of the next chapter. New England would go on to lift the Lombardi 2 more times in the next 4 years. There was no doubt that they were still a dominant force, but that doesn't mean it didn't come with a bit of adversity. Following the season, the New England Patriots were found to be guilty of playing with underinflated balls during their battering of the Indianapolis Colts. Deflategate became the hottest topic in NFL circles, as talking heads and fans quickly grasped onto the opportunity to make Brady and the Patriots public enemy number 1. The deflated balls gave Brady and his pass catchers an advantage during the game, and not that they needed it, and for their crimes, the Patriots were docked $1 million and Brady was suspended for the first 4 games of the 2016 season. Tom Brady did not take the suspension well, and would fight his case in the courts well into the offseason. Regardless of your opinion of him and Deflategate, the last thing that the rest of the NFL needed was a pissed-off Tom Brady, which is exactly what they got. Following his suspension, Brady returned in Week 5 and promptly led the Patriots to 11 victories in the remaining 12 games. Houston and Pittsburgh were no match for the Patriots in the playoffs, which set up a clash with the Atlanta Falcons in the Super Bowl. The New England Patriots defense was averaging a league-low 16.4 points per game leading into the Super Bowl, which makes what happens next even more remarkable. The usual dominant unit were smashed for 28 points by Matt Ryan and the Falcons offense, producing a halftime scorecard that read 28-3. As it turns out, that box score will go down in history. Just as fans in the UK were heading off for an early bedtime, they missed history, as Bill Belichick set about finding a solution to what appeared to be an impossible challenge. Whatever he said during that halftime break, it worked, as the team that emerged was ready to do the impossible and produce one of the most incredible moments in sports history. The defense refused to concede a single point to the Falcons' previously unstoppable offense, and Tom Brady and his offensive weapons managed to post 31 unanswered points. Brady's 466 passing yards were a new Super Bowl record, and the 25-point deficit was the largest to ever be overturned in the big game. A total of 30 Super Bowl records were broken or tied in one of the most spectacular games in NFL history. Now, with 2 Super Bowl wins in 3 years, the Patriots Dynasty was very much back on track. They fell just short of another title in 2017 before another strong season in 2018 placed them in their 3rd consecutive Super Bowl. Brady, who had just recorded a record-breaking 14th Pro Bowl, was for once not the star of the show. A tough New England defense held Jared Goff's Los Angeles Rams to just 3 points, handing the Patriots their 6th and final Super Bowl ring. It was the Rams that the Patriots beat in 2001 to finish their first Super Bowl, and it was the Rams that they beat in 2018 to win their last, also making Tom Brady the oldest quarterback to win a Super Bowl in NFL history. For fans who were exhausted by years of Patriots dominance, an 8-0 start the following season would have had many wondering whether it was ever going to end. Thankfully for those people, the 13-0 win over the Rams in Super Bowl 53 did mark the beginning of the end. The 8-win start to the 2019 season was followed up by a 4-4 finish and a wildcard round exit. That was the earliest that the Patriots had been dumped out of the playoffs since 2009, and in a wild turn of events, it would end up being a mark that they would be unable to surpass ever since. Tom Brady jumped ship and headed for Tampa Bay prior to the 2020 season, in which he would win yet another Super Bowl, and the Patriots would fail to win the division for the first time since 2008. Bill Belichick was unable to recreate the magic he once had with Brady as his signal caller, but it was undeniable that the roster never came close to the talent it used to have. Belichick and the Patriots would fight through a few more seasons until a 4-13 record and a 4th-place AFC East finish in 2023 will bring an end to the greatest coaching tenure of all time. time. 6 Super Bowl victories, 17 division titles, countless Hall of Famers produced, and one incredible dynasty that will be remembered forever. Fair play, New England.